It's music and it's opinion-based, but some things, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. Y'all, Solange is determined to keep her foot firmly on Jay-Z's neck and she is not moving her foot anytime soon. Solange and Jay-Z have had this weird beef for a long time, but Solange seems to be getting bolder and bolder in speaking against Jay-Z. And that's what she is doing now, because she just slammed Jay-Z for embarrassing Beyoncé. Remember when Jay-Z slammed the Grammys for not giving Beyoncé an Album of the Year award last year? Well, Solange found that super embarrassing and she slammed Jay-Z for his dedication to humiliating Beyoncé and making her look bad. Y'all, the Carter family's business is about to get messy. Y'all are not going to believe how crazy the situation is about to get. Y'all, it's starting to get clearer and clearer every single day that Solange is not Jay-Z's biggest fan, even though he's been married to her sister Beyoncé for like 16 years now. It's music and it's opinion-based, but some things, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. Y'all, Solange is determined to keep her foot firmly on Jay-Z's neck and she is not moving her foot anytime soon. Solange and Jay-Z have had this weird beef for a long time, but Solange seems to be getting bolder and bolder in speaking against Jay-Z. And that's what she is doing now, because she just slammed Jay-Z for embarrassing Beyoncé. Remember when Jay-Z slammed the Grammys for not giving Beyoncé an Album of the Year award last year? Well, Solange found that super embarrassing and she slammed Jay-Z for his dedication to humiliating Beyoncé and making her look bad. Y'all, the Carter family's business is about to get messy. Y'all are not going to believe how crazy the situation is about to get. Y'all, it's starting to get clearer and clearer every single day that Solange is not Jay-Z's biggest fan, even though he's been married to her sister Beyoncé for like 16 years now. Honestly, Solange comes off as one of Jay-Z's biggest ops and she is no longer even trying to hide the fact that she isn't Jay-Z's biggest fan. She has been coming for Jay-Z for a hot minute now, and from the moment that he and Beyoncé went public with their relationship, fans have always noticed and talked about how Solange seemed kind of disinterested in the relationship and not on Jay-Z's good side. I mean, she didn't come out and say that she hated him, but her body language always speaks volumes. But we knew for sure that she hated his guts back in 2014 after the Met Gala, when an elevator footage showed Solange putting hands on him in an elevator while Beyoncé just stood in the background looking dazed and confused and watched. This was a shifting moment in pop culture and is known now as the elevator incident. Her putting hands on Jay-Z was all the confirmation we needed to know that she is not Teen Jay-Z. And there has always been talk about how she got mad because she found out that Jay-Z had been cheating on Beyoncé and that's why she went in on him like that. It kind of tracks though, because there have been reports of Solange trying to fight Jay-Z's side pieces in public. Listen, she even went as far as trying to fight one of his side pieces in a party for talking to Jay-Z. Now one of his many alleged side pieces is a woman named Olivia McFarland, and she is one of the very few, if not the only woman to have publicly admitted to having been pursued by Jay-Z when he was already dating or married to Beyoncé. While Olivia denied that she and Jay-Z hooked up, many people believe that they did because they think that she's just trying to avoid triggering the Beehive. When y'all start chasing me on something, I will beat you when I'm in town. He wanted you to be his girl Friday. He wanted his girl on his. She claims that she refused to give Jay-Z her number because he sent his bodyguard to ask for it. But then a couple of weeks later, they ran into each other again at Nobu in Miami. She was with a group of friends and he was also with a group of people, including Solange. Olivia then claimed that they had met up in a private part of the restaurant to chat and exchange numbers, but Solange caught them. Olivia said, "Solange came walking up out of nowhere. I thought I was about to get my butt beat, so I backed off quickly. She has been guarding her sister's property since day one. B doesn't even have to say anything. Solange is a beast. I can't believe I dodged a whooping from Solange that day. She was a big reason why I left him alone. She gave me a look of death. Very scary. So yeah, while Solange tolerates Jay-Z because he's her brother-in-law, but that doesn't mean that she loves him because she hates how he keeps disrespecting Beyoncé, allegedly. And not just with his affairs, but also the things that he says, like last week at the Grammys, when he accused the Grammys of blackballing Beyoncé. My word on a straight is that Solange feels like Jay-Z embarrassed Beyoncé and she laid into him behind the scenes, calling him out for embarrassing her, putting her into a tight spot and causing her to get dragged on social media. For those of you who haven't been following the story, Jay-Z got people talking when he slammed the Grammys for being biased toward Beyoncé. Everybody knows that Beyoncé is basically the MVP of the Grammys, holding records for the most nominations and wins in history, with 88 nominations and 32 wins. But there is one award that she has been desperate to win, and that's Album of the Year. Now, with Beyoncé dominating the scenes for decades, you'd think that she would have won at least one Album of the Year, right? Well, wrong, because despite being nominated 4 times, she's come up empty-handed every single time. She's only managed to win one of the Big 4 Song of the Year for Single Ladies back in 2009. That's wild, isn't it? The one and only Beyoncé, and she's still missing a Grammy for the Record of the Year. The Beehive has been accusing the Grammys of straight-up disrespect, suggesting that they're purposefully holding her back to keep her in her place. Well, Beyoncé didn't make the nominee cut this year because she hadn't dropped any new music in the last year. So let's rewind a little bit. She's had her fair share of Grammy nominations in the past, including Album of the Year nominations for albums like I Am Sasha Fierce, Beyoncé, Lemonade, and Renaissance. And fans were rooting hard for her, especially with Lemonade and Renaissance. And when she didn't win, they felt like she got snubbed. Now, when she missed out last year, it was like all chaos broke loose, especially within the Beehive. They went on a full-blown rampage, dragging the Academy through the mud for days. Renaissance hit the scene in 2022 like a hurricane, selling a massive 332,000 copies in its debut week. Now, let's clear something up. And it topped 25 end-of-year charts. So yeah, it was the real deal. Last year, Beyoncé got 9 nominations, including big ones like Album of the Year, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year. With those nods, it was pretty much a given that she'd be adding at least one more Grammy to her collection. Some even thought that she might break the record of the most Grammys ever won by an individual, which was 31. At the time, she was Naked Negro Quincy Jones, and they both had 28 awards each, so she needed just 4 more, and she'd be at the undisputed champ. And y'all, Renaissance definitely delivered. She won 4 Grammys in one go, bringing her total to a whopping 32. But despite this win, folks were still feeling some type of way about Beyoncé missing out on the major categories. Harry Styles won Album of the Year for Harry's House, stirring up some serious drama. And many felt Beyoncé got robbed, and let's just say Harry caught all the heat for it, and still is even a year later. Well, Jay-Z was furious last year after Beyoncé failed to win Album of the Year, and he gave a very rare interview where he talked about the situation. He talked about how disappointed he was at the Grammys for not giving Beyoncé her deserved win. Now, he made some solid points about why Beyoncé deserved to win Album of the Year, saying, "Look what it's done to the culture. Look how the energy of the world moved. They played a whole album in the club. Every remix is amazing. Everyone's inspired. It has inspired the world. It's inspiring creativity. When it just inspires creativity, that's an album. That has to be Album of the Year. It has to be." He then slammed the Grammys for being biased toward Beyoncé, saying, "The truth is, we grew up wanting to be on the Grammys. It was our goal. We just want them to get it right. That's what we want. Obviously, it's music and it's all subjective, but you've gotta be in the ballpark. That's all we want. We just want them to get it right because we love it so much. We grew up watching Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder won 3 out of 4 years in a row." To be fair, it's kind of obvious that there is a lot of bias against Beyoncé by the Grammys because several voters have even admitted to deliberately not voting for her just because she's Beyoncé, even though she deserved it. Yeah, it gave a bit of hater energy. Now, according to an article by Variety, a couple of Grammy voters admitted to purposefully not voting for her even though they knew and know that she deserves their vote. One voter who is a Grammy-winning producer, engineer, and has been a voter for almost 20 years said, "I felt very strongly that Lizzo has changed this culture a lot. About Damn Time was a great track that everyone responded to. I also look at who's been there and go, okay, Adele, Beyoncé, they always win. It's the same people over and over again. So I went for Lizzo. So let me get this straight. The reason this person didn't vote for Beyoncé was that he didn't want her to win because she's always winning Grammys? Y'all, that's not the criterion. So we have a cap on how many things we can win. Yeah, this just makes us question how objective the whole process is supposed to be. And hint, it's not as objective as it claims to be. But that's not the only one, because another voter said, with Beyoncé, the fact that every time she does something new, it's a big event and everyone's supposed to quake in their shoes. It's a little too pretentious. Again, this person didn't vote for Beyoncé because she's a big artist with a loyal fanbase. This vote has nothing to do with the quality of her music or anything related to her music. I just don't like the fact that people go wild over Beyoncé and she has a strong fanbase. Again, hateration. But that's not all, because this other vote threw shade at Beyoncé, saying, Brandy's album is maybe the only one that has real musicians. The credit list on the album is not 8,000 people. 3 people made that record plus the band, and that's it. Oh, so you can't give everybody credit now? Okay, so yeah, there is a lot of bias against Beyoncé, and Jay-Z called out the Grammys during the awards when he was on stage to receive his Global Impact Awards at the Grammys. You know, it's music and it's opinion-based. But, you know, some things, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. Again, he made some valid points, but a lot of people felt like he was choosing the wrong time to make his points. Solange is one of those people, allegedly, because allegedly she feels like Jay-Z put Beyoncé on the spot, making her look greedy and ungrateful. For the 32 Grammys she's already received. Well, Solange also pointed out how Jay-Z has also never won Album of the Year, but he chose to speak out about Beyoncé, not himself. And Solange is calling BS on that. She insists that Jay-Z embarrassed Beyoncé big time and she is sick and tired of him embarrassing her sister like that. Well, fans seem to agree with Solange. They've been dragging Jay-Z for embarrassing Beyoncé, saying, hasn't Beyoncé won 29 Grammys? Why does Jay-Z and Kanye keep embarrassing her? Dang, guys, learn how to behave in public. You're acting like Will Smith. Next thing you know, y'all will be blaming her for your bad behavior like everyone blamed Jada for Will's little tantrum. Roll up. Jay-Z complaining that Beyoncé has the most Grammys, but not the one that she wants is so embarrassing. And not Jay-Z embarrassing Beyoncé so hard. Oh my gosh, I can't watch this. Yeah, a lot of people felt like it was cringe, but what do you think about this? Do you think that Jay-Z was really projecting because he never won Album of the Year? Yeah, it's a bit messy, but let me know what y'all think in the comments and then check out this next video.